Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. Double honors to our elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to all the brothers pushing this work in sincerity and truth. Brother Tamayan from GMS Toronto coming at you again with another video. Here to feed the elect wherever they are, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. So this video, is going to come off of the back of what's his name again? That dude, Captain Tazariak, and that Christian pastor, right? Going back and forth about who the kingdom is for. And, that debate just goes to show you how ignorant and ignorant just mean not to not know, but I'm looking for a word, man. Sadish, stupid. I'll say stupid. Ignorance, when you're ignorant to something, like a baby is ignorant, okay? He or she does not know because there's a part of innocence in their ignorance, okay? There's a piece of bliss somewhere in there, right? Because due to the lack of experience of the world, you can say a baby is ignorant, okay? So, with that being said, you cannot use ignorance as a scapegoat for these Christians, man. Because they see the fruits of Christianity throughout the so-called black community and the Latin American community in the form of Catholicism, being Baptist, being Pentecostal, Methodist, whatever you want to call yourselves, different stupid ass denomination of these Christians, right? And they don't even know who the Christians were. That's another thing. But anyways, the Christians were Israelites, right? Followers of the Messiah, the Mashiachim, okay? So like, yeah. Anyways, so what they want to do is dragging the rest of the nations in the kingdom of heaven, okay? But the kingdom of heaven is only for Israel. But they want to bring in the other nations. Guess what? The other nations they're not going to have the laws in their mind. So even if you want to drag them in, listen, man, it's a spiritual thing. They're not going to be in there. They cannot. Okay, because everyone will be separated at the end of the day. You're right. Everyone's gonna be in the kingdom, but not everyone's gonna get the fruits of the kingdom. Okay. So when you talk about, the Greeks is talking about the Gentiles. Listen, if you can't understand that there's two Gentiles in the scriptures, okay, especially in the New Testament, right? In the Old Testament, they weren't called Gentiles; they were called strangers, right? Because we understood that Israel, wherever Israel was dragged off into captivity, we also multiply in those places. When you go to Babylon, let's go in the book of Judges for 2 seconds, right? When Israel decided to go to go off, and the Lord put them in slavery. Let's go here. Let's go here. The book of Judges. I think 3, probably the first captivity. I'll start at 1. Now these are the nations which the Lord left to prove Israel by them, even as many of Israel as had not known all wars of Canaan. So the Canaanites, okay, we had beef with the Canaanites. All right, what do you think happened when the Canaanites ruled over Israel? Some of them were dragged back into Canaan, right? Or wherever these Canaanites reside, right? The Philistines. The Philistines had their own land. They had their own civilization, so to speak. You think they didn't drag our women back into captivity, and some of our men? You think when they had us in captivity, you think we didn't pick up some of their customs? Huh? Even going back as far as Samaria, when they went off the first time, when the northern kingdom went off the first time, what do you think happened over there? Okay? So we are, as long as they go off from being who they are, they're gonna be Gentiles in a state of mind, man. That's the reason why the Lord, like he just told you right here in verse 1, that these nations were left there to prove Israel. Let me read it again. Now these are the nations which the Lord left to prove Israel by them, even as many of Israel as not known all the years of war, the wars of Canaan, Salakia. Only that the generation of the children of Israel might know, to teach them war, right? At the least, such as before knew nothing before thereof, Salakia. Namely, 5 lords of the Philistines, and all the Canaanites, and the Zidonians, these are Hamites, and Hivites that dwelt in Mount Lebanon, from Mount Baal Hermon unto the entering of Hamath. And they were to prove Israel by them, right? To know whether they would hearken unto the commandments of the Lord, which he commanded their fathers by the hand of Moses, right? So the Lord is the one that did this and made them effeminate and everything by not taking what do you call it again? Tributaries, but not making them tributaries, man. And the children of Israel dwelt among the Canaanites, the Hivites, the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and Jebusites, right? And they took their daughters to be their wives, and gave their daughters to their sons, and served their gods. So they were Gentiles here, you dummy. This is how they became Gentiles. This is the reason why the Lord got pissed off at the children of Israel, because they were in a Gentile state of mind, even in this time of the book of Judges, man. So here you are, there's Gentiles right here, right? Even when they know they were Israelites, they were still in a Gentile state of mind by worshiping other gods. And the Lord, this was the commandment that the Lord told them not to do, is not to give your daughters unto their sons and vice versa, because they will turn their hearts. And the Lord did that just to see what they would do. And obviously they failed at that. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord and forgot their power, forgot the Lord their God, and served Balaam and the groves. So this is a clear cut for you nigger pastors, man, who's still talking about the whole nation, everyone's going to be saved. Where is that? Where is that in the scriptures? So here's a Gentile. Here are the Israelites being Gentiles in the Old Testament without even mentioning that they're Gentiles, because they're in a state of mind. It's a mind thing. It's a mental thing. There's a physical circumcision and there's a spiritual circumcision. Okay. Therefore, the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel, and he sold them into the hand of Cheshire. Okay, let me try to pronounce this. Shushan Rishathaim, king of Mesopotamia, and the children of Israel served Shushan Rishathaim 8 years. So my point is, okay, every time the Israelites were in slavery, they were Gentiles pretty much. But there's always a remnant that the Lord always leaves back, okay, so that the whole nation don't go astray. All right? Just like now. But at this time, there was a fall away. There was a fall away, man. Falling away first. Falling away first. KJV. Because the Lord is very dramatic, okay? He put his nation under without us knowing who the hell we even were, and then woke us up again. That's the Ezekiel 37 joint. Okay, that's a scripture in Ezekiel 37. Now we beseech you, brethren, that the coming of the Lord Yahushua Mashiach, and by our gathering together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letters, nor by letter as from us, as a day, as that day of Yahushua is at hand. That no man deceive you by any means, for that till that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. And you can't even break that down. Damn pastors, man. Okay? So the falling away happened. That's when we went into captivity the last time. Okay? Even through the Dark Ages, we knew who we were. In the time of the Romans, we knew who we were. The time of the Greeks, we knew who we were. Some of us knew who we were. That's the reason why you have the Maccabean rebellion. And in the time of the Romans, we had the Masada, the wars at the Masada, because it was taxing. Right? They were in heavy slavery, man. Right? And when you go into the book of the Maccabees, it tells you that and you can even get a thing out of a lesson out of the son of perdition, okay, the falling away first, and the man of sin be revealed. You can even get 3 lessons out of that. So let me get the book of Maccabees when it says it was illegal for a Jew, that's not even the word, to call himself a Jew. Maccabees. Shit. The second Maccabees. Second Maccabees 6. Let's get that. Second Maccabees, the 6th chapter. Let me see if it's in here. Okay, I got it. So second Maccabees 6. And all right, let's start at 1. 6 and 1. Not long after, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of God. So what do you think this is, Pastor? Pastor that was debating Tazariak. What do you think this is going into? This is going into the nations trying to corrupt the children of Israel so they can be Gentiles. Okay? And to pollute also the temple of Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympius, and that in Gerizim of Jupiter, the defender of the strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the place. The coming of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people, because it was a law, right? They made it, anything that's made a law, just like how now the so-called the concoction, CV19 concoction, it's gonna be a law soon that everyone has to get it. That's gonna be grievous unto the people, especially our people, because they're targeting our people, the Israelites, which you want to call them black, nigger you. For the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, who dallied with harlots and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places, and besides that, brought in things that were not lawful. So this is what the Greeks were doing, okay, and other nations that were around us, okay? And I'm sure some of these harlots that you see here, I'm pretty sure some of them were Israelite women, okay? Because they were already corrupted, man. This is the second chapter of Maccabees. So the first chapter tells you how when they got to Mattathias and his son and the sons, they were already corrupted, but they rebelled against it. Okay? Years had already passed. The altar also was filled with profane things which the law forbiddeth. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts or profess himself at all to be a Jew. Okay? And in the day of the king's birth, every month, they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. But now you niggas eat that pork and unlawful meat without the king even making it a law. And when the fast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go into procession to Bacchus carrying ivy, aka carnival, aka orgies, okay? Moreover, there went out a decree to neighbor cities of the heathen by the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews, that they should observe the same fashion and be partakers of their sacrifices. So what do you think this is? This is the Gentiles trying to make the Israelite Gentile, which they put them in a Gentile state of mind, which they were successful at doing. Because in this time, they had to be fallen away. Okay? And we had to go into captivity for the things that we've done before in the past, man. You know? And it was time for that beast that's mentioned in Daniel. I think Daniel the 7th chapter. Is it Daniel the 7th chapter? Daniel the 2nd chapter. But anyways, you know, that statue was, you know, it was that time for the Greek to rule. So there was nothing that we could have done, even if we were keeping the Sabbaths and all that. Once it's time for that statue to the part with the belly with the silver to come into fruition, there's nothing we can do about it, man. Right? And whoso would not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles will be put to death, that might a man have seen the present misery. You know, let me read some more. For there were 2 women brought who had circumcised their children. Okay? When they had openly led round about the city, the babes hanging at the breast, they cast them down headlong from the wall. So this happened. This happened to the Israelites, okay? So our women were going through it, our children were going through it, and the men were going through it. Okay, so this is how you get the word Greeks in the New Testament, where you see there's no difference between a Jew or a Greek. These are the things that made our people turn into Greeks, because they were forced into it. Okay? And others that had run together into caves nearby to keep the Sabbath secretly, being discovered by Philip, were all burnt together because they had made a conscience to help themselves for the honor of the most sacred day. Okay? Let me read some more. Now I beseech those that read this book that they, and this was just a couple of incidents that the brothers could actually write down. There are more incidents, just like how in slavery, there are a couple of incidents that we know about, hundreds of incidents we know about, or 1,000, but there are millions of instances and cases, man. It's the same thing with the scriptures, right? But discovered those other calamities, but that they judged those punishments not to be for destruction, but for a chastening of our nation, right? So this is where the repenting comes in, because we know why we're going through it. We know why we're here as slaves. We know why you niggas are Christians and don't think that you're Israelites. It's because you're Gentiles, man. And you think that the Gentiles are the other nations, like the Chinese. You think they're the only Gentiles, because you niggas don't see yourselves as Israelites. So you group yourselves into the same category as these other nations and think that you're a Gentile. You look at these rats over there in the Holy Land, and you look at them as the Israelites, and you look at yourself as a piece of shit. Okay? But as long as you're a Gentile, you're not going to be given salvation, man. That's all it comes down to. You're not going to be given salvation. Salvation is for the Israelites only.